Outer Space Battle. The once safe haven for the Namekian people is now falling apart, and Mira stands at the epicenter of the chaos. With each passing moment, he feels the planet's life force being ripped away, stolen by the sinister entity he sought to contain. But it's not just the planet that's in peril. He's also become profoundly aware of their own vulnerability. Moro's insatiable hunger for energy knows no bounds. He's on the brink of consuming everything in his path. As New Namek begins to crumble, Miras trembles that their energy will be absorbed by Moro too if they stay much longer. They need to get off the planet now! Making their way to the ship, Jocko huffs. No wonder he's out of breath. It's the energy drain. But sure, Jocko, that's what it is, little buddy. The trio get themselves out of Dodge, now merely viewing the specks of ki raining upwards past the planet's atmosphere. Our favorite patrolman can't stop himself from mentioning this whole spectacle must be kind of hard for him to watch, referring to Eska. The boy doesn't speak for a second, unable to take his eyes off what's happening to his home. He promised Mori and Tall Namekian he'd survive even if he was the last one left. The Grand Elder named him his successor before disaster struck. But he did? Eska conjectures that maybe he foresaw his own doom and entrusted the fate of their people to him. That's why it's his responsibility to survive this. Although Jocko offers some insightful, heartwarming words I'm not going to bother to mention, Miras resolves that they will all survive and rebuild a peaceful Namek, and that means defeating Moro first. Continuing their ascent, the villain should be just up ahead. Onward!
What the? Over there! Not so fast!
Unable to land anything. It's like they're suddenly fighting a ghost. This shouldn't be so difficult now that they're back at their full power. What's going on? Vegeta too feels something's off, as the infinitely wise Lord of Lords offers his insight. His real body isn't here. Goku frantically whips his head around trying to figure out where he went and where he's absorbing the planet's energy from. When the Kaio spots him. Goku takes off after him before Vegeta commands him to wait. The prince reminds that's outer space. Saiyans can't survive in the vacuum of space. Which, oh right. But just how much different is it really from where they are now, scientifically speaking? The Lord of Lords, who isn't restricted by such things, offers to go instead. Appearing to use his magic to render himself invulnerable to physical attacks, Moro grunts.
You dare to wear that detestable face in my presence, great Lord of Lords.
With the pair pulling into the distance, they've escaped the sight of our heroes. There's no way to tell how the battle's going. On the bright side, Namek isn't losing energy anymore. Miras thinks this might mean the fight has begun. When the ever-reliable Oriko alerts that Moro and the Lord of Lords have left the planet's orbit. Goku and Vegeta remain in its atmosphere. Which party should they go after? And first, they have to attend to Goku and Vegeta. But why does he want to go after them first? Are they solely the easiest target? Or does he have a plan? The villain sneers that he was confused by his strange powers. But now that his own power exceeds the Kaio's, they no longer trouble him. Did something happen to him these past 10 million years? Because this is unimpressive. The deity takes a stance Moro fears so much before commanding him to listen. He's going to come quietly back to Galactic Prison. Resist and he'll seal off his magic again. Chortling at this threat. The old sealing technique, is it? He implores him to go ahead and do his worst. But not doing anything. It looks like this was nothing more than an obvious bluff. The mage thought not. He doesn't sense the same god power he once held. He dares say he lacks the power to unleash the sealing spell, right? Which would mean that even when Majin Buu had the fiend right where he wanted him, he wouldn't have been able to seal his magic and the plan would have changed for Moro very quickly upon that realization. Though a desperate Moro would still be much preferred to a full-powered one. Letting Schrodinger's goose out of the oven. The Lord of Lords knows it's cooked either way. His old foe is sharp. With the Saiyans. Goku stutters that he felt Moro getting even stronger. The situation is getting more infuriating by the second, and being on the sidelines isn't helping. At this rate, he'll be too much for them to handle soon, when Vegeta brings up that magic sealing technique. But before the pair can discuss it further, Mirrors arrives and calls for them to come aboard. Still trying to guess what's happening in the fight, Goku postulates the Lord of Lords can't shoot off the sealing move unless Moro's being held in place. And no. In fact, Mirror suspects that as he is now, the great Lord of Lords can't execute the Kai Kai Matoru after all. But what does he mean? The patrolman remarks that it occurred to him earlier when Buu attempted to use it. However, this is a curious observation. For one, Buu never deployed the attack. He was charging it when Porunga was summoned and interrupted the fight. For two, how would Mirrors know anything about this attack besides its existence and significance? He furthers that it's most likely because of the splitting that Buu underwent. Jocko retorts, "He split? What can that weirdo do?" Vegeta elaborates further that he means the split between his good and evil halves. At the same time, Jocko whispers to Eska that that pink guy is kinda creepy. One time, he even saw him sprout extra arms from his body. Naturally, the Namekian didn't see him in battle. Not missing the opportunity, he responds that his own people can actually regrow lost limbs. And seriously? Continuing, while they can't split, they can assimilate. Learning more and more about the universe every day, Jocko is a little stunned to hear Moro fusing. A lot of that going around here lately. Vegeta goes on that the god power was passed on to the evil half of Buu, if what the spaceman is saying is correct. Because the good Buu inherited the great Lord of Lords' physical appearance, he assumed he received the god power as well, but maybe that power did go to the evil Buu instead. Which is a little surprising to discover that little guy actually had god power in him. If this theory of the Lord of Lords losing his god power turns out to be true, it would appear that the presence of the Kaioshin is all for nothing. If Moro can do away with him and blow up a measly spaceship, the universe truly will belong to him.